In the autumn of the campaign, after weeks of fierce engagements, the army succeeded in pushing back the Venetians, forcing them to retreat to their original frontiers. Now, surrounded on all sides by Austrian forces, the Republic's troops stand isolated yet defiant. But despite their precarious position, the Venetians remain numerous, their ranks unbroken, their resolve undiminished. The battlefield hangs in suspense. Victory is far from certain.
Wie kann ich euch dienen? Beobachte.
In the span of mere weeks, the fate of a nation can turn like the tide of war. The Venetians, once bold and triumphant, launched a daring offensive, striking deep into Udine, driving out Austrian forces, and claiming what they believed was the dawn of their liberation. But what began as a victory has now turned to ruin. Surrounded, isolated, and cut off from all hope, the very city they once called a stronghold had become their prison. No reinforcements, no escape, no mercy. Now the time has come to end the rebellion, to silence the defiance, and to remind the world the price of betrayal. Let the final act begin. Credit must be given where it is due. The Venetians, though doomed, have proven themselves bold to the very end. Faced with encirclement, starvation, and certain defeat, they did not cower behind stone walls. No, they chose glory over survival, honor over surrender. In one final act of defiance, they sallied forth, charging directly into the fire, seeking to break our lines, to make history remember their courage, not their chains. It was brave, it was reckless, and it was futile, but let none say the Venetians died as cowards. The Venetians, in their final gamble, struck at our center with desperate fury. But haste is a dangerous companion in war. Their charge, though bold, was disorganized, their lines broken, and in their eagerness to strike a blow, they exposed a fatal flaw. Their left flank, now severed from the center, stood isolated, vulnerable, unprotected, and ripe for destruction. Our general saw the weakness in an instant. With ruthless precision, he ordered the strike, not to repel, but to annihilate. Steel met flesh, formation shattered, and the isolated Venetians, brave as they were cut down without mercy. The sally had become slaughter. threat emerges on the battlefield. The enemy, refusing to yield, has thrown the weight of their main force against our right flank. It is no feint. This is a decisive blow. Their aim is clear: to crush our flank, envelop our center, and turn a solid line into a shattered relic. Should they succeed, the heart of our army will be exposed, and everything we have fought for will hang by a thread. But we will not allow it. The order is given. Reinforcements rush to the right. Cannon fire roars. Bayonets are fixed. We must hold. For if the right breaks, the whole army falls.
Nuestros hombres huyen, señor. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
The tide has turned, and not in our favor. Across the battlefield, chaos spreads like wildfire. The plan to break the enemy on the left, bold, calculated, has failed to deliver a decisive blow. Instead of crumbling, the enemy has endured, and now they counter with ferocity. The center, under mounting pressure, is wavering. Orders are given to fall back, to regroup, to survive. But it is the right that is shattered. There, the enemy pours the breach, their banners rising over broken lines, threatening to roll up the entire front. We are being overwhelmed. The carefully drawn lines of battle are collapsing into scattered pockets of resistance. Now, more than ever, discipline must hold. If the center cannot reform, if the retreat becomes a rout, then the campaign, and perhaps the war itself, will be lost. This is no longer a battle for territory. It is a battle for survival.
Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
Disaster strikes on the right. The regiments originally deployed to hold the flank have been wiped out, overrun by the relentless Venetian assault. Our cavalry, unleashed in a desperate attempt to stem the tide, failed to break their momentum. The enemy holds firm. The flank teeters on the edge of collapse. But in war, it is not the first blow that defines victory. It is the response. Now, with grim determination, our commanders act. The reserves, our last shield, are being mobilized, formations restructured, artillery repositioned. There is no room for error, no second chance. If this flank falls, the center will be encircled and the army destroyed. But if we strike now with precision and fury, we can end the threat and turn the battle. This is the hour of decision.
Los hombres están fatigados, señor. Necesitan descansar.
When all seemed lost, the tide turned once more. The right flank, shattered and bleeding, became the crucible of redemption. Our concentration of reserves, the last throw of the dice, was not in vain. The
Los
steel
hombres están
resolve
fatigados,
iron
señor.
discipline.
Necesitan
They
descansar.
struck back with fury. The Venetians, once so close to victory, now flee in chaos. Their regiments break and scatter, their courage drowned beneath the weight of our counterattack. And with their flight, they leave more than blood and broken weapons. They leave a gap, a fatal opening. Now, with perfect timing, our commanders act. We pivot. The right flank, once the site of near collapse, becomes the spearhead of vengeance. The order is given, wheel and strike. The Italian center, overextended and unprotected, is now exposed to our fury. The hunters have become the hunted. Let the center fall, and with it, the hopes of a united Italy. Yes, we command the right now.
Nuestros
Enemy
hombres huyen,
runs,
señor.
their flanks shattered, their morale broken. But victory came at a price. To turn the tide, we stripped men from across the line. Regiments pulled from the center and left, all thrown into the furnace of the right. The maneuver was bold and dangerous. As the line thinned, the Italians pressed harder. Weakness invites ambition, and it was only the unbreakable resolve of our cavalry that held the line together. Charge after charge, they bought us time, holding the enemy at bay, filling the gaps, striking with precision and fury. Without them, the line would have buckled. Without them, the center would have collapsed long before the victorious right could strike. But they held. And now, with the right flank sweeping like a hammer toward the exposed Italian center, the battle turns in full. What was nearly a disaster may
Nuestros
now
hombres
become a
huyen,
decisive
señor.
triumph.
Los hombres están fatigados, señor. Necesitan descansar. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
At last, they arrive. The regiments pull from the depths of the right flank, bloody but unbroken, descend upon the battlefield like a storm. The 1st Italian units crumble beneath the assault. Line after line is broken. Discipline shatters. Panic spreads. Now is not the time to pause. Not the time to regroup. Now is the time to crush. To strike without mercy, without hesitation, without restraint. The enemy reels. The center collapses. And in this hour, we do not offer quarter. No ground shall be spared. No soldier left untouched. Take them all. Let this be the blow that ends their delusions of unity and carves into memory the price of rebellion.
Los hombres están fatigados, señor. Necesitan descansar. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
Il suo cervello! Levatemelo di dosso!
Pronto disfrutaréis de una gloriosa victoria, señor.
The battle is over. Smoke drifts over the field. The cries of the wounded echo beneath a sky darkened by cannon fire and history. We have paid dearly. The cost and blood etched deep into the ranks of our fallen. But the sacrifice was not in vain. The decisive flanking maneuver,
Nuestros hombres huyen,
born from
señor.
desperation, executed with precision, has broken the enemy's will. From the shattered remains of the right flank, we rose. We struck. We crushed. The Italian line lies in ruins. Scattered regiments continue to resist, but their fight is hollow. Their fate inevitable. This was no mere battle. This was a reckoning. And now, as silence falls upon the battlefield, only one truth remains. Victory is ours.
Di corsa!
Infanterie bereit!
Das Gewehr! Legt an! Feuer!
Flanken sichern! Zu den Waffen!
With Venetia fallen, the eastern flank is secure. Our rear is shielded, our hands unshackled. No longer tethered by rebellion, the full might of our armies now turns westward. Let the Sardinian king take heed. The time bought by his fragile peace is over. If he has not used these precious weeks to steel his armies and fortify his lands, then his fate is sealed. Because what comes for him now is not negotiation, not diplomacy, but fire, iron, and the unrelenting thunder of Austrian cannons.
Sir, eure Befehle? Vorwärts! Für Krone und Fahnen! Marsch! Weitere Befehle? Bereit machen! Sir, eure Befehle? Euer Majestät? Zu den Waffen! Sie sind in der Falle! Sie verstecken sich hinter ihren Weibern! Vorwärts! Marsch! Siedlung wird belagert! Sie verstecken sich hinter ihren Weibern!
Sardinia stood bold, but unprepared. Their valor, though fierce, was no match for the discipline and might of the empire. Crushed on the field, they now reel from defeat. Yet the dream of Italian unity still burns. From the hills of Tuscany to the scattered provinces, rebellion festers like a fire beneath the ashes. And the Sardinian king, he watches, he waits. He will not surrender out of fear or honor, but only when he knows the rest of Italy no longer marches with him. That is why the minor fires of revolt must be extinguished. Tuscany must fall. Every defiant banner must be torn down. Only then will the king see the truth. He stands alone. And alone, he will kneel. The objective is clear. The town, perched upon the hills, commanding the valley below. Whoever holds it, holds the field. Our battle plan? Simple in design, deadly in execution. Engage the Italians head-on. Fix them in place. Let their attention, their strength, be drawn to the left and the center, where our lines will clash in open combat. Meanwhile, on the right, the hills await. We climb, not for glory, but for position. And when we reach the heights, from above, the enemy's center will be exposed, vulnerable, stretched away. We will strike, as we did against the Venetians, a hammer blow from the flank. Sudden, crushing, irreversible. The town will fall, the center will collapse, and the Italians will break. Let them come. We know the way to victory.
Nuestros hombres huyen, señor. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
The enemy cavalry, swift, proud, and once so feared, now lies in ruin. Routed on the left flank, their charge broken, their riders scattered across the fields. They leave behind not only the dead, but the battlefield itself. And in their absence, a new weapon takes its place. From the hills, now under our control, our skirmishers take position. Silent, disciplined, deadly. With elevation comes advantage. With clear sight comes precision. Volley after volley rains down upon the Italian lines. Their formations picked
Nuestros
apart by
hombres huyen,
unseen
señor.
hands. The enemy, exposed and leaderless on the flank, begins to bend under the weight of relentless fire. It is not the thunder of cannons that breaks men, but the quiet terror of knowing death comes from above. And now, with the high ground secured and the flank clear, the next phase begins. The center will not hold.
Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
Ja, Sir.
Flanken sichern!
Tenete le distanze. Agli ordini.
Zu den Waffen!
The enemy holds a hill, the key to the town,
Nuestros hombres huyen,
anchored in
señor.
the right flank. From that height, their guns tear into our center, halting our advance, leading our line. This position cannot stand. We must take the hill now. No delay, no hesitation. Expel them before the battle is lost.
Shooter das Gewehr. Das Fehler.
Die Infanterie bereit!
Just as we feared, the Italians have turned the hill into a fortress of fire. From above, they've shattered our center, halting any advance with brutal precision. But all is not lost. On the right, our forces continue the assault. Relentless, that hill must fall. It is the key to the battlefield and to victory.
Los hombres están fatigados, señor. Necesitan descansar. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
The left flank is secure, ours without question. But the center bleeds under constant fire. It is held, but barely. Our right flank, tasked with seizing that critical high ground, has met fierce resistance. Progress has been slower, costlier than expected. Yet now, at last, the breakthrough. The enemy wavers. The hill is ours. And with it, our forces on the right can now pivot, to strike, to relieve the center, and to shift the battle once more in our favor. Salvation heights.
Nuestros hombres huyen, señor. Nuestros hombres huyen, señor.
enemy's left us failed to break ours, held firm by discipline and steel. In the center, swift and measured use of reserves has contained the storm. The line holds, and now the decisive moment arrives. Our right flank, bloody but victorious, deploys atop the hill. From above, they prepare to strike the heart of the enemy's formation. Once more, as before, we dominate the field. The battlefield is ours.
Hombres huyen, señor. Pronto disfrutaréis de una gloriosa victoria, señor.
rapide!
Nemico a breve distanza, signore!
Tugend und Tapferkeit sind